What did Casemiro say to Rasmus Højlund? Everybody, every fans, and every members of a Manchester United persuasion could not fail to have been impressed with Rasmus Højlund's debut as a substitute during the second half of the 3-1 defeat at Arsenal last weekend. One teammate who looked delighted with what he saw from the young Dane throwing his weight around in attack was Casemiro, who bumped into the striker as they waited for a corner to be taken by Bruno Fernandes, soon after a piece of unselfish work by our number 11. When speaking to the local media in his homeland ahead of the Euro 2024 qualifier with San Marino on Thursday, Højlund was asked what the Brazil midfielder said to him as he grabbed him by the shirt during the show of passion. Højlund responded that he just said something in Spanish, revealed Rasmus to Danish publication Bold. Vamos, or something like that. Casemiro hadn't seen me play, so he also told me after the match that he was pleasantly surprised by me. Despite only making a brief appearance, the 20-year-old has quickly endeared himself to the Reds fans, but is now having to focus on continuing his fine work at international level with Denmark. Højlund is joint top scorer in the Euro 2024 qualifiers so far, with 6 strikes, and Kasper Hjulmand's team also face Finland in a key fixture at Sunday tea time. Following that, we hope to see Rasmus make his Old Trafford bow in our next Premier League outing against Brighton and Hove Albion on Saturday 16th of September. The center-forward has reiterated his long-standing desire to join his boyhood idols in an interview carried in Tipsbladet. There was a lot of interest, but, for me, Manchester United has always been the first priority, he said. The interest and many of these rumors happened early in the period when I made my breakthrough in the national team. Since then, there has been a nice dialogue, and then something happens when the window opens when it really gets going. I would rather keep it to myself, said about the other interested clubs, but an interest arises and then the clubs start negotiating. Manchester United's UEFA Champions League kickoff is just 2 weeks away, as the Reds will travel to Germany to face Bayern Munich in our Group A opener. Erik ten Hag's team will tackle one of his former clubs at the Allianz Arena, with the Bundesliga champions including spectacular striker signing Harry Kane in their ranks. In what should be an entertaining start to our latest European adventure. The game is a repeat of the opening away Champions League group fixture of the most thrilling season in United's entire history. Back in September 1998, we had our first competitive meeting with Bayern after also being placed in a group containing Barcelona and Brøndby. We'd opened up with an entertaining 3-3 draw with Barcelona at Old Trafford after having to knock out Polish side LKS Lodz to reach that stage. The Reds also have a Danish side in our pool this time around, with Rasmus Højlund's former club FC Copenhagen joining Galatasaray in Group A. Giovanni Elber handed the Germans an early lead, but Dwight Yorke leveled on the half-hour mark. Paul Scholes showed persistence to edge Alex Ferguson's team in front soon after the break, only for Brazilian forward Elber to snatch an injury-time equalizer, pouncing on a rare mistake by Peter Schmeichel, when the keeper misjudged a long throw-in by Bixente Lizarazu. It is worth pointing out that, like in 2023, we also finished that stage of the competition in 1998 with a home clash against Bayern, drawing 1-1 as Roy Keane's goal ensured both sides qualified at the expense of Barcelona. The Catalans would only provide the venue for the final later that season, won dramatically by those never-to-be-forgotten late strikes by Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As we completed the treble, the appearance of England skipper Kane in Thomas Tuchel's side will gain a lot of focus in the lead-up to the game in a fortnight's time, as this will represent his European bow for his new club. Our last meeting with Bayern ended in elimination from the Champions League when the hosts won 3-1 in 2014, despite a thunderbolt of an opener by fullback Patrice Evra. We await what will happen in Ten Hag's first match in the competition as Reds boss, as we look to progress from a tough group and create more special memories from the last time the Champions League will have this format ahead of next year's changes. So remember, the date is Wednesday, 20th of September, with a 20-hour BST kickoff. So, on the other side, did you know that the Man United is the top football's worldwide 10-year spending table, with a £1.19 billion of transfer outlay, £307 million more than second-place Chelsea? But which European giant spent less than West Ham and Villa? Manchester United topped the global spending table across the past decade, spending £1.19 billion more than they have recoupled through player sales. Since 2014, the Red Devils have spent £1.67 billion on new players, while receiving £481 million on sales, according to the CIES Football Observatory. Notable transfers in that time include Paul Pogba for £89.5 million in 2016, Harry Maguire for £80 million in 2019, and Romelu Lukaku for £75 million in 2017. All three of those players, as well as other big-money signings such as Antony and Jadon Sancho, have struggled at Old Trafford, with the Red Devils having no Premier League or Champions League success to show for the past decade. Chelsea, who have won 2 league titles and a Champions League in that time, are second with a negative net spend of £307 million down on the Red Devils. Elsewhere, Glazers break another Manchester United promise as takeover saga takes further twist. Shares are down as speculation grows. The club won't be sold, but supporters are in the dark over the Glazers' plan for Man United. It was a bad day for those with shares in Manchester United. The brand has been through a lot over the last couple of weeks, but the fluctuation of the share price on the New York Stock Exchange over the last couple of months has risen and fallen, based entirely on what people expect to happen with the takeover. There have been days when a rise in share price has hinted a sale is close to being confirmed, notably when Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani's 9-2 Foundation was registered as a UK enterprise by Companies House. But the sight of the stock plummeting in value on Tuesday will crank up fears in a frustrated fan base that after 10 months of deadlines being missed, extended, and imagined, of briefing and counter-briefing but little progress, the Glazers are now firmly leaning towards staying. The club's value dropped by more than £500 million, with shares closing down 18.2% on Tuesday, having dropped 21% at one stage. For United fans who felt the end of the Glazers' 18 years of ownership was nigh, it would be a crushing blow. Sofyan Amrabat has revealed what he will offer to Man United after completing a loan switch to Old Trafford on deadline day. As quoted by club media, he said, "I don't like to speak about myself. I want to show it on the pitch, but I can promise that I will give my best with everything, every day, every minute, every second. So, it is the only thing that I can say now."